Hi, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Learning and Coaching, and I'm here today to talk to you about this whole COVID crisis and the perception and the problems it's causing for people. So I've got some observations of my own, how it has affected me mentally, and how I am dealing with that. And I hope I'm going to be able to resonate with you. I've got a few videos to make on different parts on how it's affecting me, so hopefully that's going to help you. So in my observation, there are a lot of angry people right now. You know, you're the worst human in the world if you wear a mask. You're the worst human in the world if you don't wear a mask. You're the worst human in the world if you believe in conspiracies. You're the worst human in the world if you don't believe in conspiracies and believe the mainstream media. So everybody's got an opinion, and everybody seems to be angry or anxious. So for me, both those feelings are two sides of the same chemical. The chemical is adrenaline. We are all adrenalized. So we are watching TV and listening to the fear. We are on social media listening to the fear. We are reading newspapers and listening to the fear. So it's really easy to become fearful of this thing. And I think so many people are. So everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's opinion's right. So you're either a sheeple for doing what the government tells you to do, and I'm not wearing a mask, I've never worn a mask and I'm not going to start now type of attitude. Or there's the other side of that, where the vulnerable are saying you are really selfish because I can't go out of the house because you won't wear a mask. And then you've got all the extremes and all the bits in between where people have opinions of what they think should do, and they voice it loudly. So I have gone from having this amazing life. So I built my life over the last 3 years since I became single, and I built this life where I go out every weekend and I'm a social butterfly and I'm loving life. You know, I go to live music all the time, and I meet people and I chat to people, and I go from group to group, and you know, so that's my weekends. You know, I go to the gym and I've got great friends at the gym. All of that has stopped, and that's really caused me. I lost my liberty, and I think loads of people are so angry because they've lost their liberty and they've lost their lives and they've lost the things that they like to do. So we all are angry. We're all frustrated at this. I want to do something about it. None of this adds up. So, you know, I'm looking for answers. Other people getting the answers off the television, and that's up to them. But this is just causing, none of it seems to add up. So therefore we have confusion, which causes more anxiety. So we're either angry, we're anxious. You know, I can see what I believe is down the road, and that causes me real anxiety, and what's going to happen in time further forward, you know, with children and grandchildren, and when I'm not here, how is this world going to be, and how is it going to end up? That frightens me. So I've gone from angry at losing my liberty and losing my life, and I'm sure most people have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not special in all of this. And then we have the people that are anxious and are scared of the virus, of the future, what's going to happen with our 2 trillion debt and rising. All these things are causing anxiety, the fact that it doesn't add up. Some people believe in the conspiracy theories and the New World Order. So that causes anger and anxiety, right? So we're suffering from that. So too much adrenaline, your body cannot make any more adrenaline. So adrenaline, as we've talked about in many of my videos, please go back and watch them all. But they talk about adrenaline as this fight or flight response to our danger, to things that are going wrong. So this is exactly what's happening. We've got this danger and we are responding. Some of us are responding with fight, others are responding with flight. We can swap over. I've done both of those things over the last few months, the last 6 months. I've gone from one extreme to the other. But when you can't make any more adrenaline, your body shuts down. It literally shuts down. It stops making adrenaline. It can't make any more adrenaline. So what happens when your body can't make adrenaline anymore? You don't lack energy. You can't move as much. You get tired easily. It's because you're used to running on a lot of sugar, because the adrenaline tells your liver to make more sugar and more energy and more fats to give you energy. That doesn't happen anymore. So these people don't get that hit of energy, so they're sluggish. And if your body is adrenalized all the time, we've talked about serotonin is made in the stomach. So if you're not got serotonin being made, well, then you haven't got a happy hormone, which means a lot of people are struggling with depression. The rates of people using antidepressants are sky high. Mental illness, sky high. Suicide, sky high. The actual mental problems that are coming out of COVID, I think, are going to be higher than the actual deaths. Because, the actual, when I say, I'm not suggesting that everybody's going to kill themselves because of it, but the cost of this, the cost of mental health to people being isolated and locked away, is massive, absolutely massive. So we're going to talk about the isolation in another video, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm just talking about, so you have the anxiety, you have the anger, and then when your body can't make any more adrenaline, it has the depression. So if you want to go back and look at this biologically over my last videos, then please do. There is loads of videos talking about anxiety, the cycle of anxiety and depression. So that's not what I'm here to talk about, the actual cycle. I want to talk about how to get out of this mess. So for me, somebody said something to me last week, I think it was, that really stuck with me. They were talking about the world being like two spheres. We can live in two spheres. So here's my spheres here. So we've got two spheres. We've got the sphere of the not controllable, the things that we have no control over. So these things are things like laws. Who makes the laws? Well, the government makes the laws. We don't have any choice in what laws come about. I mean, one of the things with Brexit, I'm not going to go into Brexit, was the fact that we want to take back control of our laws, but we won't have control over those laws. The government will have control over those laws. They'll tell you what's illegal and what's not illegal, and protest and what you can and can't do. We won't have any control over that. We have no control. We can protest, but they can shut us down, as they do. So government, we don't have a choice of the government, really. We can put our X in the box, but there are millions of votes and we are just one vote. So we have no real control over what happens next. Taxes, we don't decide what taxes to pay. The government are going to tell you how much to pay. And with 2 trillion and rising debt, they'll probably say, no, you've got to pay more. You don't have any choice in that. You just do what you are told. You have no control. Death, you have no control over death. Somebody is dying, you have no control of that. I've got friends that are dying of cancer at the moment. I've got no control over that. I can't change that. When your time is up, your time is up. You can offset that with operations and treatments and stuff, but ultimately it happens. Death and taxes, the two things you can't cheat. Well, hang on. I'm not sure about that. Some people cheat their taxes, right? There's a lot of people in the media, the very super rich, that manage to cheat their taxes. It's just the little people that don't. Illness. So we've been talking about COVID. So you have no control over getting ill, as in something massive like cancer. You can do things to prevent it, but you still have no control over whether you get it or not. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. Some people have, children. That's not their fault, right? They've not done anything wrong, but some children die prematurely. And that's really sad, obviously. But there's no control over that. If your child gets ill, you can't control that. So COVID is a perfect example. So when we're talking about this disease or this virus, what the actual virus does as it rampages through the world, there is no control over. Other people's behaviour. People behave as they behave. You can't control them. You can't make them behave a different way. If they want to if they want to behave that way, they will behave that way. Other people's thoughts, you definitely can't control their thoughts. You don't even know what they're thinking half the time. You have no control. What you can control is your response to them, which we're going to talk about. So you have this fear that's not controllable, and I think COVID fits into here really well. You can't control what is happening. We're suddenly, my life was set and I was organised, and now we have this thing, and now I have no control over my life, and it's not going the way I want it. So I get angry, so I get frustrated, so I get anxious, so I get depressed. Not just me, the world over probably, but as I say, mental health is suffering massively. So we've got COVID stuck in this non-controllable, and we're trying to control it, and that's what's causing us to be unhappy. So if we get stuck in this uncontrollable sphere, trying to control things that aren't controllable, we will ultimately live an unhappy life. So we've got the controllable sphere. You can control yourself, you can change your behaviour, you can change the way you respond to people and things and the situation. You can choose to protest, you can choose your life, you can choose whether you voice your opinion. You can choose if you want to do it angrily, but what you're going to get back is a response. So you get back a response the way you treat people, you get a response back from that. Friends, you can control who you're friends with. So if you're friends with wonderful people that encourage you and support you, fantastic. You can choose friends like that, or you can choose friends that manipulate and take and take. So that's your choice. You can choose. You can control who you are friends with. You can control who you seek counsel from. So some people are wise and sensible, and other people are pretty dumb. So if you choose to take counsel from somebody who doesn't see the world, I'm really not very good at organising myself in a politically correct way, as anybody who knows me will tell you. So, but if you seek counsel from smart people, you're going to get smart counsel. It's a no-brainer, right? If you seek counsel from other people, you might not get such smart counsel. So you can choose who you seek counsel from. You can choose who you respect. If they deserve your respect, you can respect them. But if you they don't deserve your respect, well, then you can choose not to respect them. This is your choice. You can choose what to do. You can choose whether to go on that protest. You can choose whether to voice your opinion. You can choose to debate situations. You can choose whether you read the information. You can choose not to read the information. This is your choice. You can choose your path. You can choose your direction. You can choose if you go to work. You can choose what work you do. You can choose whether you study. You can choose anything you want to. If you choose to see that person, if you choose not to see that person, if you choose to be friends with those group of people, you can choose. So we've got two spheres, the controllable and the not controllable. Now, if you sit in this one, you have no control and you're desperately trying to grab hold of control of something that's not controllable. If you move into this sphere, the controllable, then you gain power, you gain strength, because you can choose what to do. You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to do what you think you or are being told what to do. You can choose your response. You can choose your response to illness. You can choose how you behave. But being angry and shouting at people is not going to help them. It just gives them more anxiety. So you can choose to give people anxiety. You can choose to be angry at them. You can choose to be anxious. Or you can choose a behaviour that makes you less anxious. So if you're anxious of the virus, well, you don't have to go out. You can choose not to go out. If you are not anxious about the virus, well, at the moment we're allowed out. You are in my part of the world. You're certainly allowed out in my part of the country, because we are very lucky and we have very few deaths. But so we can choose. You have choice. When the government comes in and tells you what you can and can't do, you have no choice. And that's where the anger comes from, because somebody is taking our choices away. They are making you scared, and then they are taking those choices away from you. So we get this mishmash of anxiety and anger, because we're stuck in this sphere. So we have to move into the controllable sphere, the things that we can control, our responses to this. Choose the best action for you. Now, if you're running around full of anxiety, it's not always easy to choose. So again, there's loads of videos. We're talking about different breathing techniques, and I'm going to do a few more different breathing techniques over the next couple of weeks, because I'm back and I'm feeling much better. So you remember the cooling breath. It's just breathing in, holding it for a second to let the oxygen go into your bloodstream, blow it out. So you breathe in good fresh air, hold it for a second, and then blow out your stress. Hold it a second, allow your body to become accustomed, and do it again. You breathe in, allow the oxygen in, blow out the stress. And you can start feeling calm. The more you do it, the calmer you'll feel. Again, go back to the videos. I've got one called The Cooling Breath. There's a meditation to it. And once you're feeling calmer, you can think, okay, how can I control this situation? What can I do that's best for me to keep me safe? Take yourself out of this and your victim, and choose your path. What is best for you? So I hope that helps you think about this in a light where you can control things, and it certainly helped me to take my control back of the situation. Okay, I can't go out and dance, you know, so I got to find other things to do with my time. I have to find new things in my life. So I'm working through those. I'm back making videos. I'm back working, doing this, which I love to do, and I'm studying, and I'm talking to friends and seeing some people, socially distanced, of course. And you know, I can listen to music at home, and I can listen to music with friends. So I can't control a lot of it. So I have to control what I can control, choosing what's best for me in the situation I've got, because I cannot change what's going on. I cannot make this virus go away, and I cannot make the government do what I think it should do. I can only respond to what is happening, and if I respond to what is happening, well, then things get better for me, because I'm not just moaning about what's going on. I'm doing something constructive that will help me. So that's what you need to be doing. Think of what you can control in this difficult situation. We've all got our stories. You know, mine is really minor compared to a lot of stories, so I am not moaning about it. I have, but I'm not. It's ridiculous. But I can see why people are angry at their loss of liberties and their loss of life, and I can see why people are depressed, and I can see why people are anxious. You cannot control this, so what you can do is choose your best option under these circumstances. Or you can sit in the uncontrollable box, angry that this is happening, but nothing will change for you. So take some deep breaths, blow out the stress, and start thinking about what's going to serve you best in this situation. We're all dealing with this pandemic the best way we know how. And the best way you know how really will come when you stop, take a breath, accept what is happening, and then choose your best path, the best path for you and those around you. So I hope this has helped. Whatever you do for the rest of the day, have a great day. Take care. Thanks for watching.